You guys, I think one of the biggest things that really shocked me is that the other day, tell me why some guy wanted to fight me on what my name was. I told him my name was Andre, and he sat there and was like, "You sure it's Andre? You sure it's not Andrea? There's no feminine at the end? It's just Andre?" Yet? Yes? What does my name tag say? What am I telling you? I told you it was Andre. Not every name needs to have a feminine just because you believe the person is feminine. You don't know who I am. I am a feminine and masculine baby, okay? I am a non binary baby, okay? And my name suits me. I love it. Why do you feel like you need to tell me what my name should be? I don't like people that think, oh, I'm going to push my views onto you because I think you are feminine. Your name needs to be Andrea. No, I did not tell you that. That is not what my name is. So respect it. It's Andre. Period. Anyways, welcome to the Dre Files, featuring yours truly, Andre. Anyways, before we get into today's video, you already know how I do. I gotta do a quick promo. And if you have been listening to the past previous videos, then you know that site is back up and popping, baby, okay? So go ahead and copy you some at ariandrellc.com. That's ariandre.com. And use code ariandretv today for 20% off. Today I'm wearing the Blaze shirt, my Get High shirt with my baby little nugget on it. Okay, now I might not be smoking, I might be abstaining from the drug, but that don't mean you should. That don't mean you shouldn't support it. Okay, if you smoking and you're a smoker, baby, support the smoking business. Okay. Anyways, let's get on with today's video. So y'all, I think I need to change my Cash App tag to emergency fund because it seems like every time somebody's life is falling apart or they need financial help, my wallet is the first to respond, first on that list. I don't know what type of vibe I give off, but it seems like I give off the vibe of emergency bank. And what we're going to get into today is talking about helping people, but more so financially helping people. So this is something that I've been struggling with for years, and it's being too nice. Now, I'm not saying you can't help somebody. I'm not saying you can't be there for somebody financially. But when you let them take your kindness for weakness and push your boundaries, that's when you're crossing a limit. We need to take care of ourselves and put ourselves first. Loving yourself and doing things for yourself doesn't mean just doing self-care and self-affirmations. No, it's also holding true to your boundaries, not letting people walk all over you. It means protecting your peace, your time, and also sometimes your financial being, your money. Now, I'm not saying you can't help people financially. You can absolutely help people financially. But you shouldn't be out here helping the people financially who aren't trying to do that to you in return, who haven't shown you that they're going to do that to you in return. Now, I'm not just speaking out the side of my neck. You know me. I'm never going to come on here and speak like I haven't been through this stuff. I had to learn this stuff the hard way. I had to go through it by actively going through different situations in which I let somebody push my boundaries financially. Now, to open things up, I want to ask you, what is the most that you have lent to somebody to financially help them? Because I think I got you beat. And if I don't, baby, we're in the same boat. We're doing a little bit too much. We're putting a little too much out there. So boom, let me give you a little backstory of how I learned all of this stuff. So once upon a time, I had an ex who at the time I loved and cared for them. They loved and cared for me. They needed some financial help. They were in a financial bind, and I took that time to help them. It was with a promise that they were going to financially pay that back. But in doing so, I realized they took my kindness for weakness. They played on the fact that I was willing to help them and continued to take. But once everything was said and done, the relationship ended, and so did the intention of ever paying me back. So another story, right? I had a friend who was in a very toxic relationship with their person, who held money over top of them in order to keep them in the relationship. I gave them the option with the intent of getting the money back that I will help them financially in order to take away that part of the decision. Therefore, all they have left is to make a decision on whether they want to better themselves or stay in this situation. After taking on that responsibility myself, they still chose them and still have no intention on paying me back. I can keep going with this list. Hell, I even have family that still owes me money, who have been in a financial bind, and I have helped them out of the kindness of my heart because I love you and I care for you, and I cannot say no to family. And they still owe me money to this day. Time and time again, people will show you that they're not going to give you the same energy that you've given them. And I know you hear all of these stories and you're probably like, well, why do you keep helping people? Because it's in my nature. I can't not help people. If I see somebody in a bind and I see somebody in need and I have the ability to help them, I'm going to do it out of the kindness of my heart because that's who I am. But that's probably my best trait and also my worst trait because it bites me in my tail way too many times. But after all of that, I realized that it wasn't my kindness that was the problem. It was my lack of setting my boundaries and holding true to them that was. And that realization changed everything for me. But because I've made this realization, I have now created 5 rules for myself that I try and live by. And I'm going to share those with you in case you're going through the same types of things. I'm still struggling with it to this day, so I say I'm trying to live by it because, baby, I'm still mess up. Rule number 1, never lend money if you are not emotionally able to afford losing said money. And when I say emotionally able to, I mean if somebody asks you for $500 and you give them $500, are you going to treat that person different? Are you going to hold malintentions towards that person because they have not paid you back that $500? If you're not okay with losing that money and never getting it back, then you probably should slow down and take a breath and decide whether you really truly are willing to lend this money to this person. You have to make peace with losing said money. Because if the person you lent money to doesn't pay you back, but then you see them on vacations or going to get their nails done or new clothes and everything like that, if that is going to have you feel bad towards them, then you probably shouldn't have lent it in the first place. And one thing I realized is that I kept calling things loans when really they were just hopes, which leads me into my rule number 2. Rule number 2, if it's a loan, treat it like a loan. You need to agree on how much you're loaning, when it will be paid back, and how it will be paid back. You don't have to be a lawyer. You don't have to have some mass agreement or something. You just have to have those 3 things in check to make sure that you know what this is and I know when I shall be receiving this back. It's just a conversation to make sure both sides understand what this transaction is. It is a loan, something to be paid back, not a hope that I give it to you and I hope that you give it back to me, or it's not a gift, something that I give to you out of my free will and don't care to have it back. It is a loan. Rule number 3, which I learned from trying to help that friend out from the story I told earlier. Don't rescue people from problems that they are unwilling to solve themselves. You cannot financially remove someone's problems if they aren't willing to remove it themselves. You can try to help them, but they won't have that mindset in them to solve the problems for themselves. You're just taking away one piece of that puzzle for them. You're not taking away everything. The decision is still theirs. And if they don't choose to help themselves, you're helping the wrong person. And this doesn't have to be like my situation. This could be for anything. If you're helping someone who then does the same actions that gets them into the same situations, they are unwilling to solve their own problems. The reason you got into this place in the first place was because you acted that way. I helped you out of it, yet you still act that way. You are not willing to solve your own problems. You are not willing to stop the things that had got you in that situation in the first place. Rule number 4, no is a complete sentence. You do not have to feel guilty about not offering yourself up to someone else. You do not have to feel anything when telling someone no. You have the right. They're coming to you. They're asking you. You can say no. You don't have to explain. You don't have to give some long speech of why not. No is a complete sentence. And here's something for those people who are a little shaky about saying no. Ask yourself this: am I helping them, or am I protecting my discomfort from what would happen if I said no? Some people don't like how people react when they say no, so they'll just go ahead and do it just because. They'll go ahead and help and overextend themselves just because they don't want the discomfort of what comes after you say no. But you are the ruler of your boundaries and your financials. And if you say no, that means no. If you're doing it because you're afraid of the discomfort of it, you need to get out of that habit. And you need to start standing up for yourself and your financials and your well-being and saying no. And number 5, watch the patterns, not the promises. If you've loaned somebody $5 and they can't pay you back that $5, but they're out doing everything under the sun, and then they ask you again for $5, you lend it again, and they're still out doing everything under the sun, even something as little as that, you're watching the patterns. You're somebody that I can loan money to and will not receive it back. So you don't have to keep loaning that out. You don't have to keep extending yourself out to help them. You have to realize that they are showing you a pattern that they're not going to pay you back. Therefore, you need to listen to that pattern. Even if they're like, hey, let me hold $5. I promise I'll give you back next week. But they still don't. That promise means nothing, because your patterns, your actions, what you're showing me is that you can't hold up to your word. You can't pay back what you owe. I used to think that being a good person meant showing up for somebody when you could. That if I loved you and I cared for you and I had it, you had it. But what I've learned is that kindness without boundaries is not kindness towards myself. I'm doing myself a disservice if I don't put a boundary on my kindness. I spend way too much time caring about other people's feelings and trying to financially help them from situations and not trying to financially help myself. I try to care so much for everybody else and financially help everybody else that I'm neglecting my own self and my own financials. So moving forward, I'm going to still help people. I'm still going to do stuff if I can, but I'm also going to put a boundary on it. I'm going to be helping from a place of wisdom and not guilt. I don't want to do it because I feel like I have to. I don't want to do it because I feel like I can, so I need to. I'm going to do it from a place of wisdom where I go through my rules and I make sure this is the right type of thing that I'm doing for myself and it will not hurt me. And don't overextend myself. If it's too much, do what you can. You can't sit here and try to put yourself in a bind so that you can fully help someone else. You do what you are in your boundary, your capabilities to do. Don't overextend yourself to help someone else. But I'm not closing my heart. I'm not gonna not help people. I'm just putting a lock on my wallet until trust has earned the key. You can't get access to me financially until you have earned my trust that allows me to believe that if I do this, it will be in good standing. But yeah, I just wanted to talk to y'all about that today because I've, in my head, gone over all the ways that I financially helped somebody. And I feel like if everybody just paid me back what they said they would pay back, I'd have 10K right now, at least. At least. But all you can do is learn from your past mistakes and move forward, bettering yourself. Now I'm putting a boundary on what I can do for others, on my help towards others. I'm not going to close my heart. I'm not going to no longer help people. I'm still going to do it. I'm just going to do it smartly. I'm going to do it with a little bit of boundary around myself. But yeah, that's all I have for you guys today. Just wanted to come on here and give a quick little something. But if you're going through this, drop something down below. Let me know what it is and let me help you. Let me give you some advice, because if this wasn't enough, I can definitely go longer. Okay? But yeah, you guys, that's it for today. I hope you learned something. I hope if you're going through the same thing as me, that you are now being actively aware and holding true to yourself so that you don't push your boundaries and put yourself in a bind. But I love you guys. I shall see you next Thursday. But before we go, you already know how I do. Can I get your face for a kiss, please? This kiss is a kiss of good luck, good faith, good everything for your week to come. And I hope that if anybody is going through what I'm going through, that you take what I say and try to better yourself. Put boundaries on your kindness so that people don't walk over you. You are too helpful, too thoughtful, too kind to get walked over. So put boundaries on your love, but don't stop helping people. Don't stop being true to your heart. I love you guys. See you next week. Mwah, 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 mwah. I hope that kiss lasts until I see you again. But y'all, be easy, all right? Be easy, be breezy, and be financially what? Responsible. Bye.